Hey bro, let's talk about how you can get an attractive body as an average guy just like me. This was me 3 years ago. I had low confidence and I was afraid to make eye contact with people. This is what I look like right now. I'm way happier. I have so much more confidence and I get more attention from girls. Now, I'm not one of those people, who just talks about stuff they haven't done themselves. What I'm about to teach you all comes from my own life experience, so you can actually get similar results way faster than it took me. Step number 1, create a winner's mindset. I know this might sound corny, but it's so true, when you really think about it. One of the main reasons how I took my body, from looking like this to now looking like this, was creating a winner's mindset. Here's the actual truth. Transforming your body right physically, it's so much easier, than improving your mindset and the way that you see yourself. When I grew up, I had no confidence whatsoever. Everyone around me, including family and friends, they all believed in me so much more than I believed in myself. Because I had bad self-belief, right? I didn't try a lot of things when I was younger because I always had this mindset, oh, why should I even bother? Because I'm gonna be terrible at it anyway and just fail. And because of this, the only way for me to cope with feeling bad about these things, I started to play video games and eat junk food every single day. Months passed and I kept seeing my body getting worse and worse every single day in the mirror until one day I simply just had enough. And that's when I took this picture right here. The harsh truth that I had to realize, right, was that no one, and I mean no one, was gonna come and save me. If I actually wanted to change, right, I was the one who had to put the work in to actually see a difference. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and say that it's not scary to do things that you haven't done before, right? But this is where self-belief comes in. You just have to force your mind to develop this winner's mindset that no matter what you're gonna try and accomplish, you will succeed if you just keep doing it. What really helped me with this, developing a winner's mindset, was figuring out my reason why. Think to yourself, why do I want to change my body in the first place? When you really think about it, there's usually deeper reasons why you want to change. You don't want to look good just for the sake of looking good, right? You have something in the back of your mind why you want to change your body. These are the reasons that you have to figure out. For me personally, right, why I wanted to change was because I was this shy, fat and introverted kid who had no confidence whatsoever. And you can probably relate to me in some way, right? All I ever wanted was to have more confidence, be happy with the way that my body looked for once in my life, and also get more attention from girls. Give yourself some time to really think about this, and the deeper reasons the better, because if it hurts to think about and you're being honest with yourself, you are on the right path. These reasons did not matter to anyone else except for you, so you don't have to share them with anyone. Keep them to yourself as a form of motivation. Here's my advice to you, and this is so much more powerful than you think, no matter what other people say. Become delusional. Just think to yourself that you will get the body no matter what it takes, and you will win in the long run if you just keep doing the work. Don't just tell yourself that you will do it. Actually show yourself. Because in the end, and I speak from my own personal experience, your actions, they will always speak louder than your words. Step number 2, improve the eating. Now, this is the part, right, that most people just overcomplicate like nothing else. And I used to do the same as well. Should I go low carb or should I be high carb? Should I be low fat or should I be high fat? Should I do this or that? Just relax for a bit. Let me explain how it works, and it's very straightforward and simple. The most important part when it comes to eating is to stay consistent. Now, I want you to think to yourself, what is the easiest way to stay consistent with my eating? The answer is very simple. You eat the foods that you actually enjoy. You don't have to be this person who only eats chicken, broccoli, and rice every single day, right? Me personally, I eat the same foods over and over and over, not because I have to, but because I actually enjoy doing it. And it's more convenient. Now, when I say eat foods that you actually enjoy, I don't think I have to explain here that it's a no-brainer that you can't have junk food and sugar every single day. Oh, but it's foods that I enjoy eating. Yeah, but it's not healthy for you if you do it consistently. What I specifically mean is eating whole foods that you actually enjoy. Just normal healthy foods with no weird ingredients in them. I focus on the very basics like meat, fish, potatoes, rice, chicken, and all those basic things. It doesn't have to be complicated like whatsoever. What really helped me, to stay consistent with the eating is to not think about it like a diet, but more so a lifestyle. Because if you have the word diet, in your brain, you just start thinking about it, oh, I'm gonna do it for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, and then I just go back to my old ways of eating, right? But if you think about it like a lifestyle instead, you think about it in a slower and longer approach. You take your time and actually develop good habits instead of doing it like something temporary. Start to slowly clean up your eating habits and remove processed foods as much as possible and replace them with real food that is good for you. And it doesn't have to be expensive like whatsoever. There are so many cheap kinds of protein and fruits or yogurts, for example, that are so much better for you than processed food. Doing it this gradually over time will make a massive difference not only to your lifestyle but your health in general. Me personally, I'm a big fan of drinking soda, right? So how did I fix this? I went for the sugar-free version instead of the full sugar one. And by doing it this way, you can still enjoy yourself, without feeling bad about it afterwards. As for the foods that I personally eat, I keep it so basic, right? I eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I have 3 meals a day. As for breakfast, I like to have some eggs. And for lunch, I usually keep it to like rice with some kind of protein, whether it's chicken, beef, fish, or whatever you can think of. And the same thing goes for dinner. And I know you might be thinking, oh, this sounds like very boring, right? But I have a hack for you that you can use, and this makes the food so much more tastier. Start using Greek yogurt to your meals. There are so many ways that you can make different sauces with Greek yogurt. Only adding herbs or spices, and then you add a little bit of water to make it runny or to the consistency that you want. And by doing it this way, you can have a different flavor to your meal every single time that keeps it exciting, even though it's still healthy food. The key point that I want you to take away from this, to remember when it comes to your eating, be conscious of what you're putting into your body and actually put in some effort. A burger doesn't just magically appear in your hands, right? You made a conscious decision to eat it. So that's why you can make a conscious decision to eat better foods and be more healthy, right? It's all about putting in the effort and actually making a plan for yourself with the foods like I mentioned earlier, the chicken, the meat, the fish. Keep it basic but still healthy. Step number 3, the training. Now, improving your diet, that is great and all, but the main thing, and I'm talking from experience here, the main thing that is going to make you as attractive as possible to everyone around you is by building muscle. And this is where the training comes in. Now, I'm gonna do my best to keep this as concise as possible because I don't know about you, but training recently, right, has become so complicated for no reason. Everyone talks about these studies, 45 degrees here, 32 degrees here, or whatever you can think of. The basics will take you so far if you just focus on consistency. The 2 most common ways that people build muscle is by either going to the gym or doing calisthenics, bodyweight exercises. Now, depending on your goals, you have to make a choice, right? For me personally, I much prefer just going to the gym. Now, let's say you have no experience whatsoever, then I personally would recommend you to go 3 days a week. Start slow and just work on that consistency. If 3 days sounds like way too much for you to start with, then go with 1 day a week, do that consistently, then 2 days, and so on. The only time that you increase the days that you work out is when you've been consistent for a longer time. Otherwise, what's gonna happen, and I'm talking from experience here, if you do 5 days a week with no experience whatsoever, you're gonna overwhelm yourself and eventually quit, and then you're back to square one again. Now, workout routines themselves, they don't matter as much as you think, right? The main thing that you should be focusing on is just being consistent with the routine that you chose to do. I'll help you along the way as well by putting up a 3-day workout plan on the screen right now that you can simply copy or take some inspiration from to actually get you started. Now, no matter what routine you choose, right, there is 2 very important rules that you have to follow, because if you don't follow these, you will limit your progress that you make, but also you will probably injure yourself along the way. Number 1, you have to learn good form. This is the mistake that I did when I first started. I had this mindset that I'm gonna go in and lift as heavy as possible without having good form. I don't care about that stuff. What ended up happening was that I was sore for days and days at a time. Hear me out. Without without even feeling it in the correct muscles that I wanted to train. You know, learn from my mistake and actually take time to perfect the form on the exercise, because sooner or later you will hurt yourself if you keep lifting heavier and heavier weight with bad form. And you know, you don't even need to lift as heavy as you think to make good gains. The only thing that matters is that you connect with the muscle that you're actually trying to train. Now listen, no one gives a shit about you lifting heavy weight if you don't have good form. You only make yourself look stupid, and everyone around you know that you're ego lifting to try and impress others. Slowly work your way up with a weight that you can control, and you know, sooner or later you will lift heavy stuff with good form, and that, my friend, is impressive. Number 2, focus on progressive overload. What this basically means is that you try to do more than you did the last workout, either by increasing the reps or increasing the weight. And how I personally track this is very simple. I just write it down in the notes on my phone. I'll put a picture on the screen so you see what it looks like. You have the name of the exercise, then you have the sets and the reps, and then you have the weight. We need to track our progress in order to keep growing more muscle. I can honestly say this was the biggest mistake that I did when it comes to working out. You know, my body looked the same for months and months and months at a time because I didn't track my workouts. I did the same reps and the same weights every single time, and this just stopped my body from growing more than it should. You know, you have to make it harder for yourself every single workout. As I mentioned earlier, you need to learn good form, right? So don't focus on adding more weights right now. Focus on just increasing the reps. You know, for example, let's say you did 50 kg of bench press. You did that for 10 reps. The next workout you're gonna do, you try and do 11 reps instead. So, conclusion, number 1, create a winner's mindset. You know, figure out the reason why you want to change in the first place. Be honest with yourself, and the deeper reasons, the better. You know, become delusional about your goals. No matter what anyone else says, you will win no matter what it takes. But it all starts with you first believing in it yourself. Number 2, improve your diet. You know, focus on eating real foods as much as possible and slowly and gradually remove the processed foods out of your life. Think about it like I mentioned earlier, not like a diet, but a lifestyle. Take your time to develop good eating habits and focus on being consistent on a day-to-day basis. Number 3, start training. You know, get into the gym like me personally, right? Or do calisthenics. It all depends on your own fitness goals. Follow our routine and get consistent. Focus on the things I mentioned earlier, good form and progressive overload. And this is all that you need when it comes to the training. If you follow these 3 things consistently, I promise you that you will get in the best shape of your life so much sooner than you think. Now, if you want my help on a one-to-one basis with losing fat and building muscle at the same time, just like I have right here, then just DM me on Instagram. I'll put my username on the screen right here, but also in the description. If you want to see more content just like this, click and watch this video next.